Hi, and welcome to the first webcast of Ask Maggie. I am Maggie Fuller from the WNIR Morning Show, and I just want to say that anything that is said or done on this webcast isn't a reflection of WNIR or its management. Welcome to my beautiful studio. This is obviously my kitchen, so if you see dogs and cats walking by, it's perfectly normal. Just ignore them. And first of all, I want to say that this webcast is for entertainment purposes only. This is not a substitute for regular therapy. In regular therapy, I would be able to ask you questions, you would answer them, and also this show does not proclaim to cause any cure for a mental disorder. And I am also personally not going to be responsible for any actions taken by anybody as a result of this webcast. So if you decide to go out and do something ridiculous, I'm not responsible. Also, if you are at any risk of harming yourself in any way, please go to an emergency room, call 911, get yourself safe. Also, if you want to send in an email and it's threatening harm to another person or yourself, or you say you're abusing a child, chances are I'm going to have to report you. But it'll all be fun anyway, won't it? First of all, we got our first email, and I do change the names of everybody to protect their identity. This is one of our Facebook friends. It's a young male. He's probably in his 20s. Really cute kid. So ladies, you know, if he ever is available, you should probably check him out. Of course, I'm not going to tell you who he is, so never mind. All right. She says, or he says, "Hi, Maggie. This is going to seem like a novel, but I'm going to give you all the details. Now, I'm going to paraphrase this because he actually has 3 pages. He's been dating this young lady for 3 years. It was awesome at first. They were inseparable. They did everything together. She has a child. She was living with her mom and taking care of her dad in assisted living. He had Parkinson's disease. She was very attentive, but that was one of the reasons why she couldn't spend so much time with him or stay over. Finally, her dad passed away, and so now she has got her own apartment, and she's saying that she doesn't want him to stay over because her ex, the father of the child, will try to take the boy away. I've never heard of the courts doing that myself. Kind of sounds like a false threat that she may be buying into. Anyhow, so they were doing a lot of activities together. Then she was saying that she didn't want him to stay over because she has to get up really early to go to work, and it would keep her awake, which I kind of have a sense of that too, because I get up at 4 in the morning, and you do need to get your sleep, especially if you're taking care of a kid. And so now that things have transpired to this, that they're only seeing each other like once a week and going out to dinner, and when they do go out to dinner, she's taking phone calls and going to the bathroom 3 or 4 times with her phone. And then one day, and I think a lot of us know what this is like, he saw a picture of her on Facebook with another guy and some other people, and there was some explaining to do. He started getting a little, as he put, I was pretty pissed, and she texted me saying I don't trust her and why I'm getting all bent out of shape. They were doing nothing wrong, and sometimes that happens. You know, you're not doing anything wrong, but people take it wrong. He said, since then I've been kind of messed up, and it's like that feeling you get when you look and you don't see your cell phone. You think it's lost. That feeling doesn't go away. We went to dinner last Thursday. Someone called, and she left the bar to talk and came back, which is kind of rude when you're taking a phone call. It just looks suspicious generally. So anyway, he confronted her about it, and she got angry. He doesn't want to fight with her. And so when they left, I guess it was in separate cars, she kind of felt that he was following her home, and she got even more upset. She says, "You don't think I'm going home, so you're going to follow me." He says, "If she doesn't want me, why doesn't she just say it? I treat her like a fairy book princess and give her anything she wants. And I know she's strapped for money right now. She has her own place. maybe money's the problem. I told her I would help her out. Now, here's the thing. Steve bought her an engagement ring. And I'm not quite sure this is the time for Steve to be asking her out. He's already put in 3 years of his life, he says, and I'm not just going to give this up. I don't want to just walk away from the relationship. So anyway, Steve, this is what I feel about your situation. And I actually did take some notes because I do take this very seriously. And I want to say that you were very patient through her dad's illness, and that's a very commendable trait for you and for her. I mean, if you think about it, being that dedicated to somebody, and that's a really good quality. You're also trying very hard to help her with financial situations, which is also very nice. And now that she's not taking care of her dad, what is going on here? I don't know about that threat to take away her son, the ex saying he's going to take away the son. I'm not sure that the courts can actually do that unless there's other circumstances we don't know about, but parents are entitled to go out and date and start new relationships. And you know, there's a big trust issue here, obviously. I think everybody can see that trust is a major issue, and Steve, you deserve a trusting, honest, loving relationship. I mean, who doesn't? But you're also listening to your gut feeling on this, aren't you? That's a very strong indicator if you're listening to your gut and it's saying something's not quite right. So let me ask you this one. How do you recognize a healthy versus an unhealthy relationship? What does a healthy relationship feel like physically, emotionally? And what does an unhealthy relationship feel like physically, emotionally? And I think Steve knows that right now. Now, let me give you a little bit of a briefer on relationships and attachment. One of the things that people are drawn to when they fall in love is that hormone of love, that feeling that they get. It's a big high, you feel great, on top of the world, life is super, everything is fun, and that's called attachment. And we have hormones that happen, and this is one of those things that enables people to be attached to each other, to take care of each other. It helps us survive and procreate, and it's a very good thing. There's dopamine, which is one of those hormones that's fun and crazy. There's serotonin, that's one of those that they put in the, it's a big factor with antidepressant medications. And then there's oxytocin, which is a big bonding hormone, especially with mothers and babies. They all cause really good feelings for us. Now, when we have the fear of being alone, it means that we're going to be adjusting to those physical and emotional changes. And also, you've invested a lot of time in this, Steve. So I'm not saying that, things aren't going to work out well here. I'm really hoping for the best for you both. I hope this works out because Steve sounds like a really nice guy. But what happens if love goes away and the hormones and feelings we have and we like go away with it? We have to acclimate to those changes. There's physical changes, there's emotional changes, and generally, almost all of us survive it. We break up, we recover. It's just one of those things that helps us get along in the world. Now, every relationship has its struggles, and you have to get through them as a test as a couple. And you don't really know what your partner is made of until you've solved problems as a couple, which is important. But I want you to ask yourself these things, Steve. How well do you know her personality? It's been 3 years. You haven't spent a lot of time with her. And before you pop the question, maybe you better find out who she really is, because that's a big commitment. Something not to be taken lightly. As you can see, it's about a 60% rate for divorces these days, and although they're so expensive. So let's ask yourself some questions. Who are the people in her life and what are their roles? Do you really know When you, oh my gosh, stupid computer. Do you really know the roles of these people? If you see them on Facebook, do you know who these people are? Number two, is she somebody who just needs a lot of alone time? I mean, there's people like that. Maybe she isn't somebody who needs to be with somebody all the time. And is she willing to make a compromise with you to spend more time? You want more time with her. She seems to be pulling away. How are you going to make that compromise with her? Also, I'm kind of wondering, does she need an attorney to work on this problem with her ex over regards to custody of the son? Kind of sounds like that. My question is, should a relationship really be like pulling teeth so you can be happy? I mean, there's two people involved. Everybody has to be happy. And I always refer to this old quote, I can't think of who said it, but nonetheless, if you always do what you always did, you will always get what you always got. And whatever you're doing with her right now, how's that working out for you? You might want to try some different strategies. What you're doing right now is kind of pissing her off, and she thinks that you don't trust her. So it's not working. What I would say is one thing that you would want to do is stay calm. You do need to talk to her, and don't let your anxiety of fearing a loss of the relationship take over. Stay calm when you're talking to her. Talk to her about what she wants for her life and for her son's life. I mean, that's a big thing. The son is a big factor here too, because when you get involved with somebody and they have a child, that's a big part of the package. And when you talk to her about what she wants in her life, listen. Don't try to sell her on your agenda. Just listen to her. Let her talk it out, because she needs to figure it out. It sounds to me like she has been through a lot in her life, taking care of her dad, taking care of her son, and taking care of herself. She's having money problems. And chances are she really doesn't know what she wants right now. Let her figure that out. It may be you. Maybe she needs more time. But she needs to figure this out. She's still young. You're both still young, really. Honestly, if she's making a lot of excuses, and some of them are valid, keep in mind you have been very, very accommodating to her. Why is she making so many excuses? Number two, she's making time to go out with her friends, as you saw on Facebook. Where are you in the priorities? You want to spend time with her, but she's going out and spending time with her friends. You're going to have to ask her where you stand on that. Also, talk about trust with her, obviously. Even if you have to take notes when you're talking to her, just so she knows that this is really important, and then you're both writing down what she expects from you and what you expect from her in terms of trust, and what trust looks like, what it feels like, and how you're going to behave that shows that you are trustworthy or she's trustworthy. So on that subject of trust, let me say a couple of things from experience in life and seeing a lot of friends and coworkers go through relationship after relationship after relationship, and even some of my own. There's a lot of ways to detect or catch a deceptive person, somebody who's cheating. First of all, people will tell you. Yeah. You can follow them. You can hack their email. You can look at the texts on their phones. You can look at their credit card bills. You can hire someone to follow them. You can stick a transmitter to your car. Oh, it's endless what you can do to find out if somebody's been deceptive, let's just say. And the question is, do you really want to do all that stuff? Is that any way to live? Is that what you want? Probably not. If you are feeling uncomfortable by her secretive behaviors, and you're feeling a little hurt by the fact that she's taking her phone away to the bathroom taking it away to take phone calls. Is this okay with you? This needs to be addressed. And do you feel that you're worthy of respect and happiness? That's a big question, because you've been putting up with a lot for 3 years. It's a big investment in time. Yeah, it is. Put in a lot of time, and you don't want to lose that, but at the same time, you spent 3 years. How much of it has truly been happy time? Do you believe that you can make the right decisions for your life? That is a big question, because you can. And while you're working this out with her, I want you to keep a few things in mind. It's not going to happen overnight. Things aren't going to get fixed overnight. It's going to be a long, drawn-out process, most likely, and you're going to have to continue to be patient if you're going to try and work this out with her. But while you are working it out with her, keep in mind that you want to hang around people who have good common sense and a positive attitude. Don't hang around people who are going to be negative and be pulling you down and bad-mouthing her or the situation. Sometimes it's not always good to talk to your friends about situations, or at least not the wrong type of people. For example, if you go into a bar full of scorned men with no social skills, and they're going to sit there and tell you just how terrible women are, and those cheating bitches, it's not going to do you any good. Get around people who you trust to have good common sense, who genuinely care about you and can keep an objective view of the situation. The people who are in your support network are very important, especially if you're not going to go to a therapist to talk about things. You don't have the time, you don't have the insurance, thanks Obama, or whatever. Your situation just doesn't warrant it. Some people just aren't comfortable going to a therapist because they think of the stigma that goes along with it, or they don't trust them, or they think they're like, goofy people. Okay, maybe you're right. Anyway, remember, no matter what the results, you're strong enough to handle it. Remind yourself of some other time when you were actually amazing and you got through something really tough. If things don't work out, just keep reminding yourself of other tough things that you have been through and survived and succeeded, because you can do it again. And I just want to say one final note is, in relationships, you do get through them. Sometimes things improve. They do tend to be a roller coaster. I mean, my parents have been married for 53 years, and it's been a roller coaster for the most part for them, of good times and bad times and working through problems. You're still very young, you're still very early in this relationship, and you're going to have to work through it. Steve, I think you have some very strong feelings for her, but whatever it goes, whatever happens, I think you have the ability to make the right decisions, to stay calm, and I hope you keep us updated. So this is our first episode of Ask Maggie, and I want to thank everybody for watching. Stay tuned on Facebook, and we will keep doing updates. What I'm hoping is that we're going to do it about once a week, answer a question once a week. If things are going well, we might even do it more often. This is the first time, so it's been quite an experience for me, and I want to thank everybody for sticking with it and hanging in there for the whole 20-minute webcast. And I will talk to you next time. The next topic is going to be adult survivors of abuse or neglect and how to recover. So stay tuned to that, and that will be in about another week, and I will talk to you then. Good night.